Howdy, folks! Why is my chair always so creaky? Yes, how is everyone today? And how is the sound? I see the computer guy finally got their COVID shot. Whee! Fantastic. I'm getting my second shot in late August, I think. I had an email saying, hey, you can book your shot earlier. I was like, okay, cool, that'd be great. I go on there and it's like, there's no available bookings earlier than the one you had before. Why send me that email then? So, Shucks Daddy, I saw you comment on a friend of mine's status yesterday. I don't know which friend you mean, sorry. Computer guy, next few days are gonna be hard, but I'm still happy. Yeah, I heard that it can kind of hurt, or you can feel a bit sickly. Evan, sounds good. Zelda, I'm having chicken burgers for tea. I'm excited. Kirst, I'm doing good. Much better now that the heat's down a bit. Yeah, it's a lot cooler now. Cooper Dude, just been watching the Olympics. Socialist. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I'd rather not talk about it in stream, thanks. Evan, what projects are you working on right now? At the moment I'm working on top 5 Nickelodeon animated movies. I'm almost finished watching all the Nickelodeon animated films. I'm getting closer. Sorry, I got distracted then. Computer guy, and related to the shot, I'm not fine at all. I can barely move my right arm and have a fever, which is normal. Just one shot for me since I got COVID in February. Lucky me. Oh, bless. Nick, I've recently decided Rango is a new favourite animated movie of mine. I didn't get it when I was a kid, but this year I've grown much greater appreciation for it. I have too. I think that my review of it is a load of shit. Like, I've rewatched and thought, wow, this is quite profound for a kids movie. It really is. It's really good. Miss Burley, theatrical release Nick movies. Yes, sorry, mine's disappearing. Yes, theatrical only. Just theatrical films. Joe J, I'm watching Walking Dead with my family. Oh, sounds fun. So, Shucks Daddy, can I message you on Facebook about it later? Again, rather not kind of talk about those kinds of things with people that watch me. Yeah. Zelda, is there too many Barbie movies to finish film chums? What do you mean? Sorry, there's quite a lot of Barbie films to watch, but I have started the marathon. Good guy, I really like when this happened with movies I didn't like. Yeah, it's very refreshing, and that's happened quite a lot with a lot of Nickelodeon animated films I've watched. Kirst, that was me after my first shot when I was watching Luke, and Stubb immediately noticed the effects on my left arm. Yikes. I think the only effect that I felt was just like, it hurt. It just hurt for a while. And I couldn't really use my arm very well. That was it. That was the only effect I had from my vaccination. Okay. So today we're going to talk about my top 5 Nickelodeon cartoon characters. Okay? Sorry, my mind is disappearing into other places now. I really need to concentrate. So yeah, I'm going to talk about my top 5 Nickelodeon cartoon characters. This was possibly the easiest countdown I've ever put together. Like, it just came naturally. There was only one. I think when I narrowed them down, I just came down to 6 straight away, and I just had to take one away, and it wasn't even that hard to take that one away. So, yeah, it's been pretty easy. Summon, I got my second shot today. It will take 2 weeks for the shot for me to take effect, and I swear the Loud House movie looks like an extended episode. I saw the look of the animation for the Loud House movie, and yeah, it does look like the TV show a bit. Zelda, let's get to it. Definitely. Nick, Rango's not the first movie I didn't get as a kid, but loved as I got older. The first movie I changed my thoughts on when I got older was Megamind. Symph what about Seasonal Rot? Sorry, I don't know what that's referring to. Computer Guy, I think I know who will be in there. If you know my taste, then yeah, sure. Evan, you must be a humongous Nickelodeon fan. Kind of, sorta. I'm mainly attached to like the 90s and 2000s Nick shows. I've not really kept up since. So I wouldn't say like I'm a super fan or anything, but like I do like a lot of Nickelodeon shows from those eras. Lister Ramsey, I'm so anxious about the shot. I know it's worse to get COVID, but try telling it to my dumb, depressed monkey brain. No, I get that it might be kind of scary with the needle and everything. But once you got it, and you don't have to go for the experience ever again. Okay, so let's talk about my top 5 favorite Nickelodeon cartoon characters. So at number 5 is why is that not working? Why is it not working? There we go. That was weird. Okay, so number 5 is Neutron from Jimmy Neutron. What I love about You is that he's a grown man who has kept his inner child alive, but also tries to be a good father and loving husband. He supports Jimmy's inventions even if he doesn't understand them, and is always spoiling Judy with attention and compliments. He's someone who approaches every moment of his life with a sense of joy and excitement. Even the smallest things can light him up or make him feel inspired. I can't help but smile at his passion for ducks too. He genuinely loves ducks so much, and isn't afraid to show his youthful enthusiasm for them in front of other adults. Can he be naive? Yeah, sure. Is he a bit ditzy? Totally. But his heart is always in the right place, and I like that he's found a style of parenting that's the right balance of relaxed and strict. So yeah, what does everyone think of You Neutron? He looks like Jacob Rees-Mogg. No, don't ruin Hugh for me. Don't ruin Hugh for me. Oh dear. He's kind of similar to Nigel Thornberry in ways, yes, in ways, but I'd say that there's differences at the same time, that set them apart. Computer Guy, of course, and since this was the subject, Jen and Jimmy Neutron really is something that I appreciate more as an adult than as a kid. Yeah, absolutely. Summon, quack, 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 quack. Jimmy, it's time to come down! Quack, 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 quack. Cooper Dude, so many memes came from this wonderful man. Once, when I was 7 years old, I sat in a banana. Of course, that changed my life. He has so many great quotable lines. Except for Zuto, I think they should re-release the show on Blu-ray and have all the best Hugh episodes. Yeah, I agree, yeah. G. Crobat, he's like a better dad than Timmy's dad. Zelda, his love for ducks made me love my bath ducks, and I copied him. That's so cute. Computer Guy, Hugh Neutron was a character that I liked as a kid. I loved his personality and high energy. Yeah. Nick, I absolutely adore Hugh. He may be a simple-minded and childish goofball with lots of the best lines in the show, but he's also a very kind, supportive parent, and that's what makes him so endearing. He's one of the best cartoon dads out there, alongside Homer and Fred Flintstone. Yeah, I kind of disagree with Homer being a good dad. Sorry. I've not seen Flintstones in ages. So Shores Daddy, God, it's been so fucking long since I watched Jimmy Neutron. I highly recommend anyone to rewatch Jimmy Neutron, the film and the series. Evan, I think Jimmy Neutron would look terrible on Blu-ray disc. I think it'll look fine. Look totally fine. Considering what the intended style was. Yeah, it'd be fine. Nick, I meant cartoon dad as in characters, not as in parent. G-Crowbat, I barely remember watching Jimmy Neutron. Jimmy Neutron was like a huge part of my childhood, and the movie was one of my first DVDs I ever owned, so yeah, very special to me. But I had like a weird relationship with the movie where as a kid I loved it, then as I got older got a bit cynical about it, and then as I reached my late 20s I was like, no, this is actually a really, really good film. Nick, once when I was... everyone's quoting the banana line now. Summer Water. My fave Jimmy Neutron episode is Men at Work. You have to remind me what that one's about. I'm not good with the names of Jimmy Neutron episodes, if I'm honest. And I've not watched every single episode. Cameron, I remember the movie more than the show. Which is surprising, because the show is really, really weird. Like, the movie is tame in weirdness compared to the show. The show goes to some super strange places. I think one of the weirdest episodes I saw was where a Tarantino parody character randomly appeared in Retroville and tried to make a movie with all the kids. It was so bizarre. It was so strange. The burger restaurant episode, that's a bit of a blur for me. Nick, it's when Jimmy and Carl and she go to work at a fast food place for the guy named Skeet. I don't think I've seen that one. So she's always done it. Clap, clap, clap. Slap, slap, slap. Okay, so any other thoughts on you, Tron, before I move on to the next one? I mean, I too remember the movie more, but that's because I had it on VCR and could watch it whenever I wanted, which is not the case with the show, sadly. Nick, I will live. Cameron, I remember an episode about underwear. Zelda, I want a daddy like him. Aww. he is a great dad. He really is. I think one of my favorite scenes in the Jimmy Neutron movie is where Judy is like kind of overthinking things and worrying about if she's a good mom and that kind of stuff, and Hugh is just like, no, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Don't overthink it. It's cool. It's rare to see those kinds of dads, because like most dads are either over strict or completely neglectful, and it's just nice to see Hugh, who's just a relaxed and caring dad who also knows how to follow discipline at the same time. So yeah, it's refreshing. Goobadoo, the episode where the trio turn into old men always gets a good laugh out of me. Yeah, it's a good one. I guess we've got no more to add about Hugh, so let's move on to my number 4. So my number 4 is Zim from Invader Zim. The appeal of Zim mainly comes from his underdog role in the Urkian invasion. His own leaders underestimate him, and Dib is always foiling his plans, but he never gives up trying to conquer Earth. There's something admirable about his relentless determination, even though he's wanting to rule our world. I also just love seeing him attempting to fit in with humans because he's so bad at it, and his culture shock reactions are always really, really funny. We never know how he'll respond to Earth customs that are normal to us and alien to him, so every episode is a surprise thanks to his unpredictable nature. Oh, and even though he never wins the day, we have to at least praise his imagination. His inventions are either so weird that they're hilarious, or end up being surprisingly clever. So, what does everyone think of Zim from Invader Zim? Someone water. I am Zim! Computer guy. Oh, okay. I did not see that one coming. I never watched Invader Zim. Hides under his stairs. I encourage everyone to watch Invader Zim. Great show. Definitely. I'd say watch Invader Zim just so you can watch Enter the Florpers, one of the best Nickelodeon projects ever put together. One of the funniest things that Nickelodeon's ever made. Cameron, I have never seen Invader Zim, but I hear it's really good. It is really, really, really good. It's fantastic. It's like a great introduction to black comedy for kids. Mr. Pearly, did you see the Netflix movie? Yeah, like I just said, Enter the Florpers is a masterpiece. I've done a review of it on my blog site. It's really, really good. Goobadoo, Invader Zim was always so weird, in some cases maybe too weird for me personally. I love my weird. So Shookstar, I constantly see people talk about how great Zim is, but I never properly watched it. I saw bits of it, but never fully watched it like Rocco's Modern Life. Again, seems to be a lot of people have not given Zim a chance, bless him. Evan, Zim is a lot like Brain from Pinky and the Brain. Kinda, sorta. I'd say that Zim is a lot crazier than Brain. Same intentions, but like different personalities. Zim reminds me of Mesut Özil from 442. I can't pronounce that. 442s. I've never heard of that, sorry. Zelda, I'll watch Zim with... Whoa, I just think... Zelda, I'll watch Zim with my little cousins if that time comes. Go for it. Jika, about the only reason he's gone so far is because every human is stupid. That's the thing, though, is like... He gets very far, and then Dib just gets in the way, and that's it. There's always a chance, and that's what makes Enter the Florpers so awesome as well. Cameron, I hear Visipop, the creator of Has Been Hotel, was inspired by Invader Zim. Oh, you can definitely tell, yeah, especially with casting. Nick, Zim is an absolute riot due to his egotistical determination. Hilarious voice provided by Richard Horvitz, and his unawareness of how he'll never succeed because he was sent to Earth just to be banished by the Tallest. But he's still an admirable villain thanks to his wild imagination and diabolical nature. Yeah, definitely agree. Summer Water, if you like Zim, check out Has-Been. It's great. I have seen Has-Been Hotel, and I have seen, I think it's Hell of a Boss. So Shorks Daddy, wasn't there an episode of Zim where a man was stuck in a chicken costume? I can't remember if he was stuck. I remember there was one of the funniest ones where they swap. I think they swap a police officer with a squid. They swap bodies. It's really funny. It's so stupid. Here we go. You must at least have seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, at least, and I'm pretty confident at least one of the characters will be in this list. I forgot about Avatar. I completely forgot about Avatar when doing this list. Oh, it's because Avatar is so different to like the Nickelodeon brand. Damn it. If I was to put a character from Avatar on my list, it'd be Sokka. It'd definitely be Sokka. I love him to bits. The zipper on his costume was stuck. Yeah, sorry folks, sorry I forgot to think about Avatar. But yeah, Sokka is definitely the one I would put in if I chose Avatar. So take the rest of the list with a grain of salt. Okay, let's reveal my number 3. So my number 3 is, of course, it's SpongeBob. It's SpongeBob. Yes, I had to put SpongeBob on this list somewhere. Nickelodeon's most successful animated character. It makes total sense why he's so popular and spawned such a huge franchise, because there's a lovable innocence and sweet playfulness to his upbeat personality. SpongeBob's antics have helped me get through hard times, because he's someone who lives to help, cares deeply about others, and always looks on the bright side of life. His optimism rubs off on the audience, because he shows that you can live happily even if the world is bitter and cruel, or sardonic and cynical. What more can I say? It's SpongeBob! The lovable sponge who shows sensitivity and open feelings can lead to a healthier life. So yeah, what does everyone think of SpongeBob?
I'm ready. Promotion. Yeah.
Social Stat, I like SpongeBob, but he's a bit too noisy and annoying for me to be on this list. I'm fine with it. That's the joke. The show knows how noisy and annoying he can be. It's well aware of it. Of course, SpongeBob. G-Crobat, hot take, I don't like SpongeBob. Feel free to say why you don't like him. Go ahead. Evan, SpongeBob SquarePants was the main reason why I used to despise Nickelodeon. Feel free to explain why. Computer Guy, I love SpongeBob, but I hate his voice. There's a lot of hate already. Zelda, me and my brother love watching SpongeBob. We sung his songs. Summon Water, creates rainbow, imagination.
Imagination.
So yeah, anything else people want to add about SpongeBob? Cameron, I love SpongeBob. The first SpongeBob movie for a long time was my favourite movie. He's a character that I look up to. Aww. G-Crow, about my feelings towards him is the same as Squidward's. Computer Guy, the box episode was great. It's a fact. Box episode is fantastic. It's like one of the best examples of like understanding the comedic dynamic of SpongeBob. Like, if you want to get an idea of what a typical episode is like, watch the box. Zelda, I like his cheerful personality. Sympathy to SpongeBob's optimism always puts a smile on my face. Even though his dream job is everyone else's nightmare, he still does it because it's what he likes. Yes, absolutely, yeah. And the thing is, some people do enjoy the mundane. Some people do get a lot of fun out of that. Look at Hank Hill. Nick, SpongeBob is my number 1 favourite Nickelodeon character because the show itself is one of my top 5 favourite shows of all time. His the perfect example of how to get through life by demonstrating how to always look at the bright side of life in an insightful way instead of being in an annoying way like in the crappy episodes, and his childlike innocence makes him so likable. Yep. Evan, because SpongeBob SquarePants is crazy and his facial expressions are incredibly over the top. That's the point, he's a cartoon. Kaboo Guy, I feel in that part, I relate a lot more towards Squidward sometimes. I do still really relate to Squidward, trust me. I love SpongeBob. SpongeBob is who I want to be, but I think sometimes there's a bit of Squidward in me. But mainly because I've been in a lot of crappy jobs in my life. I mean really crappy. The worst job I was in was a call center, and they would actually hand out prizes to people that went for the least toilet breaks. Yes. Yeah, so I can resonate with Squidward. Cursed. I've always preferred Squidward, and I always felt sorry for whatever SpongeBob annoyed, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Even when I was young, that was still the case. A lot of Squidward fans in this chat. Joji,
Imagination.
So Shorkster, maybe SpongeBob and Squidward are just unionized. So Shorkster, Daddy, most people hate that industry because it pays fuck all. If you're talking about call centers, the pay was alright. It was just the work was absolutely awful, and the thing was, it was the call center for PC World and Dixon's, and the only call center for those companies. And keep in mind, they're very big companies in the UK, so we had to handle about 250 to 300 calls a day. It's the only job I actually actively decided to quit in my entire life. I got miserable. I was really miserable. Cameron, I would love to meet Tom Kenny one day, and he also voices Spyro the Dragon. He voices Spyro in one or two of the games, I think. Not all of them. Cooper Dude, I was recently in a production of the SpongeBob musical and got to play Patrick. Oh, if you haven't seen the musical, it's on DVD and it's one of the best SpongeBob things in the 2010s. I do really want to see it, yeah. Cameron, Mr. Song came up and he smiled at me. Nick, what really makes SpongeBob shine to me as a character is whenever he's paired up with Squidward. Yeah, the way he bounces off Squidward. Evan, I used to hate facial expressions that go too far. You're not gonna enjoy cartoons then, mate. Mr. Burley, SpongeBob has run its course. I don't keep up with the show, for my side. I really don't keep up with the show. So Short Study, no, not call centers, fast food. I've never done fast food. Never ever done fast food. Never. I did go for an interview for KFC once, even though I'm a vegetarian. I was really after a job of any kind at that point. I've been on so many job interviews in my life. I really have. I've been on so many. I think I've tried job interviews at nearly every company there is. Computer Guy, oof, call centers are the worst. Yep, the one I worked at was like a cult. Zelda, I also like his relationship with his spatula. Yeah. Summer Water, I never worked on fast food preparation. My job is first one in hardware retail. Do you enjoy it though? Do you enjoy it? Computer Guy is the best. I'm not singing. I can't. I'm terrible at singing. G-Girl Band, I actually enjoy Battle of Bikini Bottom more than the actual show. Ah, interesting. Is there any reason why you enjoy the game more than the cartoon? Computer Guy, job interviews always make me nervous. Not for me anymore. They used to, but I've been on so many now that, like, I just go in and just do whatever. I kind of just think, oh, what am I going to do after this interview? I've done it so many times that I've gotten to the point where I'm just numb to it, because I know the more times I go into a job interview thinking, am I going to get it? I just stress myself out and I just don't think about it. I really don't. I just go in. I've done so many job interviews now that I know the kinds of answers to say. So yeah. Listener said, I always end up in retail and then having a nervous breakdown a year later because I'm not emotionally built for it. Wow. Bless you. Yeah, retail's really horrible as well. I've worked at HMV and Wilkinson's, and yeah, retail's just awful. Just mainly because of customers, but also because of co-workers. Because the customers make your co-workers miserable. Summon, I love it. I really enjoy it. That's fantastic. Evan, please don't rudely say next one. Okay? Like, I'll get to the next one and I get to the next one. I'll only rush to the next one if loads of people encourage me to do next. Zelda and Gary. G-Crobat. I'm more of a video gamer than a cartoon binger. Ah, right, okay. So you're more into video games than cartoons. That would definitely explain why you find the games more accessible. Zelda, can Soka have an honourable mention? He can, but I've got nothing planned to say about him. I just think it's really cool that he's both a comic relief and a badass warrior. I really like that about him. And he is very, very funny, and he gets his own romances. He's just one of the most fleshed out comic relief characters I've seen. Most comic relief characters are just there to make people laugh, but he gets so much more developed than that, and I really like that. Computer Guy, I'm kind of hoping he'll do a list with the Avatar characters now. We'll see. It's been a while since I've seen Avatar, though, to be fair. Okay, let's move on to my number 2. My number 2 is Helga from Hey Arnold. Helga is one of the more complex and tragic Nicktoons characters. She's been neglected by her parents and overshadowed by a successful sister, and kindergarten bullying led her to shut off her emotions. One of the things I love about Hey Arnold is how it shows that not every child has the perfect life, and in Helga's case, she's a little girl who's been starved for love so much that she's become defensive, aggressive, and angry. It makes sense that she's developed an infatuation for Arnold, because he's everything that Helga wants. A person who cares for those in need and will do anything to help. On the one hand, it's funny seeing Helga trying to hide her secret affections for Arnold, but on the other hand, there's something deeply sad about how she can't find the courage to open up to him, because Arnold could fill the empty voids of Helga's life. He really could. So yeah, what does everyone else think of Helga? Any thoughts on Helga? Chat. Helga? The chat's gone silent. So Shock Study. So Helga is a tsundere? Yes, like a Western tsundere. She really is. A 90s Western tsundere, yeah. Cameron, the episode Helga on the Couch made me think of Helga in a different way. Absolutely. But there are other episodes that show that side to her, I think. It's not just that episode that we see that more sensitive part of who she is. Can't think of it off the top of my head, but like, yeah, there's quite a lot of examples besides Helga on the Couch. But Helga on the Couch is definitely it's probably the best Harold episode as well. Big Guy, Harold is pretty depressing show in a way. I feel for Helga. It is kind of a dark show when you think about it because of how it shows that a lot of people are either disadvantaged or abused, and that's one of the things that I really respect about the show, is that it shows that not everyone is middle class, not everyone is well off, not everyone has nice parents. So yeah, I really appreciate that about the show, because there's a lot of shows that like really amp up the wholesomeness, but a show like Arnold it gives representation for some kids that watch cartoons and it's like I can't connect to that. My parents don't treat me like that. I can't relate to that because I struggle to open up my feelings. So yeah, I feel like Helga speaks to a lot of kids out there. A lot of people I've met in general had those kind of childhoods. Where am I in chat? G-Crobot, I tried watching Arnold, but it's not for me. That's fair enough. Lister Rimsey, I still can't believe they got away with the line, makes my girl tremble. When you think about it, yeah. Cameron, I know you're supposed to, but I really hate Big Bob. Oh, I do. I definitely hate Big Bob. I know of dads that are like that as well. I've met those kinds of dads. It's horrible. I remember dating someone that had a dad kind of, sort of like that. Cameron, I think kids today should watch Arnold. Oh, definitely, absolutely. Because the thing is, even though it's a show that can resonate with disadvantaged or abused kids, it's also a show that shows more privileged kids, hey, you know what? Kind of appreciate what you got, and keep in mind that not every kid is going to be in your position. So yeah. Evan, you know what? I think Helga should have opened up to Arnold, marry him when they were adults, and then kick her awful family out of the house on the streets. Yeah, sure, go for it. Absolutely. Computer Guy. I haven't seen the show in a while. The last thing I watched Harold related was the long-awaited Jungle movie. You really should consider releasing your shows on DVD more often, Nick. I think Harold does have a DVD collection now, actually. And I think Harold's available on Paramount Plus. I think Paramount's got like a lot of different things going off in terms of streaming. Nick, Helga is the most fleshed out character on the show. She may seem... Sorry, burping a lot today. She may seem like an obnoxious bully on the outside, but on the inside she's a very tragic individual. Her parents neglected her for her sister, and she's picked on by other kids when she shows a hint of kindness. But most importantly, I love how her secret love for Arnold isn't just a shallow crush. She loves him because when they first met, he was the only one who showed her any attention and care. Absolutely. Absolutely. You can't forget something like that. When someone... If you've had nothing in your life and that one person does something kind for you, that's going to stick with you. That is really going to stick with you. But Computer Guy, I know some people like Big Bob, but they're not parents. They're really not parents. There is an episode that explores Helga's relationship with her mum, though. That kind of like shows a different side to the mum. A lot of the Pataki toxicness definitely comes from Big Bob. I think it just rubs off on the rest of the family. Cursed. I just realised something because I've just recently binged The Good Place. Brilliant show if you haven't seen it. Tahani seems kind of similar to Helga in that both overshadowed by their siblings, are both neglected by their parents, but obviously there are big differences in social class between them. Maybe it was just the way Jam described the character that maybe come to that conclusion. I've not seen The Good Place, but it's interesting you made a comparison to something you've seen. Computer Guy, it does let me check, and I don't have P+. I only have Disney Plus and Netflix, and that's it. And it's frustrating because there's a lot of stuff on Paramount Plus that I would like to watch, and I really wish that HBO Max was available in the UK because it has so many great stuff. It really does. That's why I started binging the Looney Tunes show on there. Evan, who the hell is Big Bob? Big Bob is Helga's dad. Cameron, it's a show that puts me in a happy mood. Well, sometimes it depends on the episode, but it's a series that I actually prefer over SpongeBob. Nothing against SpongeBob, but Arnold is a more interesting show in my opinion. I have to agree. As much as I love SpongeBob for like how much it's like helped me through like sad times and how optimistic and how uplifting it is. Harold is a stronger show because there's more there. There's more detail. There's more complex characters, and you can get more of a discussion out of like a typical episode as well. Cameron, sorry if the message is a bit too long. No, don't worry about it. Cameron, I've just read that. Sorry. Computer Guy, her smoothies addict mum. You just reminded me of that. This show was so dark. Oh yeah. It's strange how they kind of like hint that Helga's mum is an alcoholic without mentioning alcohol. It's kind of surreal. Lister Ramsey, I like the episodes where Helga has to sneak around doing bad or good because it shows how smart and resourceful she is. She's very intelligent. Very, very intelligent and very creative and artistic as well. Because that is another plus about a character, is that she isn't, and it's another thing that's sad, because like her parents don't appreciate how amazing she really can be, and like she's a talented poet, and she's very creative with things she can find, and she's very smart and observational at the same time, and that's what makes her. What I find very interesting in Hey Arnold is when Helga often will sometimes to go along with her like I'm pretending to hate Arnold kind of shtick. She will kind of dumb herself down a bit, or she'll join the other kids in stupidity, even though deep down she's so much smarter than everyone else. That's really fascinating to me, and that shows how many layers she has as a character. Cool Guy, and I checked, it does have a box collection released in 2014, kind of long ago. Yes. Evan, what would the world be like if Big Bob was in charge of it? Oh, terrible. But Release from March's performance as Big Bob is terrific. It really is. It's not your usual kind of Release from March character as well. It really isn't. And it shows that he's able to take that take a darker side of his voice and really project it. Eric Schneider, one of my favourite characters are the three cats from Cat Scratch, Mr. Bill, Gordon, and Waffles. We'll definitely get to everyone else's favourites after I reveal my number one. Evan, do you think Helga is more intelligent than Phoebe? I think they've got different kinds of intelligence, because you've got to remember that intelligence is kind of a spectrum. Because you've got, like, book-smart intelligence and you've got emotional intelligence. And I think Helga is very much leaning towards the emotional intelligence, because she's very creative and poetic. And, like, she feels a lot. She really does feel a lot, even though she struggles to let those feelings out. Here we go. The scene where she tries to talk to her dad while Olga was playing the piano was so heartbreaking. A lot of buried memories coming back. Yeah, there's a lot of very, very sad scenes like that. Cameron, when I first saw the episode Parents' Day, when Bob mentioned Arnold being an orphan, I wanted to punch Bob in the face. Absolutely. That was definitely Big Bob's worst moment. You can't watch that moment without getting really annoyed. And what I find interesting about that moment is that it's one of those rare times where Helga immediately snaps out of her, like, I hate Arnold act. As soon as she hears her dad saying that, it just like, Dad, what? Like, even that's enough to make her break character. Is kind of like, yeah, that's how offensive Bob was being. Okay. Let us now move on to the my mind disappeared again. Okay, so let's reveal my number one pick. What do you think it is? What do you think my number one pick is? What's your guess? Drum roll. I need to get... You know what I'd love to have at one point? It's like a soundboard. I'd love to have a soundboard. Socialist Yorkshire, Daddy, Timmy Turner, Angler Invader Zim, Praying for Jenny, No Clue. Okay. I know that a lot of people who know what I like have probably already guessed who it is, but it is Nigel Thornberry from the Wild Thornberries. Yes. Oh, how I love Nigel. Good old Nigel. Nigel Thornberry is an eccentric and quirky nature filmmaker who legitimately adores wildlife. I love watching him excitedly observing an animal from a distance or telling scientific facts to the camera with a sparkle in his eye. He may be a big goofball, but he can also be very responsible and smart. He's someone that seems like good fun to be around, but you could also trust your life with him too, because he's multi-skilled and understands the wild. At the same time, he's a real family man and a fantastic father, an underrated dad even. He respects and adores Mary Ann, but he also brings a calming perspective to their parenting decisions, often presenting a perspective that his wife hasn't considered, because Nigel has a knack for noticing small details and a deep empathy for all living things. Any scene he shares with Eliza is heartwarming as well, because you can tell that he's her biggest role model, and that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. The bond they share together is so genuine and strong. But yeah, at the same time, he's just really, really funny, because he's just so quirky and so silly. So yeah, what does everyone think of Nigel? He is a very likable character. Evan, Tim Curry's best voice performance ever. Possibly, yeah, I possibly would agree there. I can't think of any other performance that tops it in terms of voice acting. Computer, he acted Donnie in The Family just for that. He's awesome. Yes, that's another thing I really like, is that, and he continues to treat Donnie like he's the third child. He never questions him. I love that. I really do. And that's the thing. He's just really great with kids. I watched Rugrats Go Wild today, and I really like that once Nigel kind of like snaps out of his like baby trance, let's say, and like starts to kind of like realize the situation, and the first thing he does is like, he's like, oh, these babies are adorable, I'm gonna assure them, I'm gonna calm them down, and I'm gonna do the right thing and work out how we can get out of this situation. That's what I mean, is like, he has a big heart, but he's also kind of silly, but he's also very, very mature. And I like these shows that you can be all of those things. You're not mutually exclusive to being just silly or just mature. You can have a mature side. You can have a silly side. So yeah. Nick, I may have not have watched the show, but Nigel is the one character I remember the most from it due to his charming passion for animals while still being empathetic towards his family. But technically the best thing about him is the fact that Tim Curry voices him, and you can't get that better than that. Yeah. Evan, it's refreshing to see Tim Curry voice a good guy instead of a villain. Yeah, absolutely. It really shows that... It shows that he doesn't always need to be typecast, and sometimes you could take a chance with him. And cast him in a role that's a bit more sensitive and gentle, while also keeping his like persona of like being kind of campy and flamboyant. Eric Scheidel, I wonder if people only like Nigel because of his memes. Nope, the memes are an extension of the fandom around Nigel. I'd say that Nigel's likability inspired the memes. This reminds me, I need a fanfiction AU where Nigel adopts Helga and he's best friends with Arnold's parents and they all explore the world together. That sounds amazing! Nickelodeon, make it! That sounds fantastic. The moment you said Nigel adopting Helga, I was like, my heart went, ah! That's perfect. So short study, was Nigel's wife also English? No, Nigel's wife was American as far as I remember. Good guy, Rugrats Go Wild is an underrated film if you ask me. I don't like it. It has its moments. It definitely has its moments, but there's also some scenes where you're like, oh, shut up! Like, there's some tender scenes where I'm like, oh, that's really nice, that's really interesting, but there's other scenes where I'm like, just, no! And I really don't like how they handled Spike. I really don't. Like, that's not how... Maybe it's just me, but that's not how Spike would behave and talk if he could talk. Zelda, I had 2 teachers that are similar. Oh, very lucky. Cooper, dude, smashing. Computer guy, Nigel adopting Helga. I love this idea. Yes. Oh, if someone could do a fan fiction of Nigel Thornberry adopting Helga, then like I'd read it. I'd read it on stream. I really would. It's perfect. Cameron, quick question. What do you think of Stu Pickles? I've mixed feelings in general on the Rugrats parents, because, like, yeah, they kind of let their kids run riot a bit too often, and they lose their kids a bit too often, but I do like that Stu means well, and that he's very passionate as an inventor, and you do sympathize with him because he wants to prove that he can raise a family and be a successful inventor, and that's quite relatable. Social work study. Who was the kid that acted like a chimp? Donnie, and who was voiced by Flea, the bassist from Red Hot Chili Peppers. Coot guy. And since Arnold's parents are explorers too, it could even justify how they would meet. Absolutely, yeah. Aaron Scheid. I wonder why Nigel wasn't the main character of Wild Thornberries. He seems to be the most complex written character. The thing is, the Wild Thornberries, the main shtick of it is Eliza's ability to talk to animals. And I think that is possibly more interesting than a nature filmmaker, especially for kids. For me personally, I attach myself more to Nigel as a filmmaker, and as someone that loves animals, but I can see why Nick was like, yeah, we'll have Eliza as the main character because she's a little girl and she can talk to animals. Good guy, we need a shared Nickverse. Oh, absolutely. I think they've got... Isn't that new Nickelodeon, like, Super Smash Bros. Kind of game coming out? I forgot what it's called. Is it Nickelodeon All-Stars or something? I can't remember. I've seen pictures. I've seen that Nigel Thornberry's in there, and he's fighting. Nigel wouldn't fight other humans like that. Unless they were poachers. Have you watched My Life as Teen Robot? Afraid not, but I know of it. Evan, so Rugrats Mild is definitely not going to be an upcoming video. Pretty much. Listen, I would write a story, but I have too many unfinished ones already. Oh, bless. I think definitely get one finished before you start doing big projects. Make something you're passionate about, and you don't even have to look back and think, oh, that was a masterpiece. Just write something and finish it. And at least you can know in your heart, like, I've managed to finish something. I can finish other things in the future. Kirst, Uncle Iroh to me is what SpongeBob is to you, Jam. He has so much appreciation for life, and I like how he always tries to guide his nephew on the right path, but he also has a seriousness there whenever a character crosses the line that makes him really engaging. Like that scene where he confronts Zuko trying to free Appa. That scene honestly gave me chills. Even when Zuko betrays him, we find out later he couldn't bring himself to hate his only family. Absolute waterworks for me. Yeah, that scene where Iroh hugs Zuko gets me every time. But I guess that we're now moving on to the audience. What's your number one favorite Nickelodeon cartoon character? Just your number one, and why? Let me know why. Cooper Dude, have you seen the Robot Chicken sketch? Wild Form Breeze Wild as fuck. Yes, I have. It's both horrifying and both hilarious. Because it's just so hard to watch as this innocent cartoon, but at the same time it's really funny. Good guy. Iroh was the heart of Avatar show and also my favourite Nick character. Ooh, got a lot of Uncle Iroh fans already. Same for Suta. My number one favourite is Plankton. Let me know why. Let me know why. I love Plankton too, and I think Mr. Lawrence's voice is so good for him. I like that Plankton is your, like, stereotypical kind of, like, antagonist, but at the same time, there's an underdog kind of side to him. That whole struggling business thing. Because on one hand, yeah, he's kind of brought on himself, and he should focus on improving. But I do kind of feel sorry for him when he's beaten down. I do feel a little sorry for him. Nick, my other favourite Nickelodeon characters aside from SpongeBob, Zim, Neutron, and Helga are Danny Phantom, Zuko, and May from Avatar, and Carl Weezer and Sheen Estevez. Zelda, my number one character is Toph. She's a great role model for people who have a disability like me. Interesting. Yeah, that's one of the things that I really praise about Toph is the representation for the blind. Particularly for blind kids, giving them a role model. So yeah. So Shock Daddy, Wanda from Failure Parents because she does well to put up with Cosmo and Timmy's bullshit. Nick, and also Jimmy Neutron himself, he's easily another favourite of mine. Evan, I also love Squidward because he's kind of reminds me of Bert from Sesame Street. Plus he does have great reactions to SpongeBob. Yes, totally. Eric Scheidel, my number one would be Garfield, if he counts, since Nickelodeon bought the rights to him. I like him because he's lazy and a bit mean, but still has a good heart, and his voice from the old cartoon is really fitting. It is a very fitting voice. Computer Guy, everything that happened in this show happened because of Iroh in a way. He was an awful character in the past that made the Earth Kingdom fall, but changes his ways during Book 1. He was still on the Fire Nation side in the beginning. Things like that really don't happen often with characters. Yeah, totally. Cameron, my favourite Nick character is Arnold Shortman. He's a character that I want to be like. He tries to help people and always looks on the bright side. His quote in the Hell movie, well, somebody has to, like I said, Arnold is more interesting than SpongeBob. Yes, I really did consider Arnold. I definitely considered Arnold. He is a very good role model. And the kind of person we need more of in this world. We really do. So Shorks Daddy, I just realised Sheen and Jimmy Neutron is named after Charlie Sheen because Charlie's real name is Carlo Estevez. Yes. G Crowbat, my favourite is Jenny from My Life as a Teenage Robot. Because she's similar to Peter Parker. She wants to be a normal girl, but she has to fight evildoers, and most of the society don't appreciate her. I might give My Life as a Teenage Robot a chance one day. Listy Rimsey, gotta be Oblina from Our Real Monsters. Yes, Our Real Monsters choice. Yes, she's completely confident, loves her work, supports her weaker friends, and stands up for what she believes in. She can come across as a bit bossy and self-righteous, but her narcissism is earned by being one of the best scarers. Yes, absolutely. People need to watch Our Real Monsters. It's a great show. It's a really great show. One of Klasky Chupo's most underrated shows, I would say. Computer Guy, and if we ignore Avatar, I guess my favourite Nick character is Hugh Neutron. But really because I'm rediscovering Jimmy Neutron and I'm loving it right now. Fantastic. Nick, Arnold is one of my favourites too. G Crobat, my favourite Avatar character is Appa because of his focus episode broke my heart. Yeah, that is a really good episode. Zelda, Mindy from the SpongeBob movie is my number 2. She's kind and doesn't complain about being queen. She's really passionate for her role as a princess and helping SpongeBob and other creatures. Yeah, when I rewatched the SpongeBob movie for my countdown, I was like, Mindy is a really solid character. She really is. She's quite a strong character. Like, and it's interesting to see a character like that in the SpongeBob universe, because you don't get that many female characters that are kind of that kind of trope. So it's interesting to like expand the like other spectrums of femininity into the show. Sorry, Eric Chidol, the Grumble from Our Little Monsters, is also a great character. One of the best mean teachers characters out there. Yes, absolutely. Right, I better head off now. I promised I'll video call someone, so I've got to be off. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. I hope you all had a good time. Yeah. Hope you're well. Sorry I'm a bit tired, but it's kind of a bit warm today. It cooled down over the weekend, but today it's kind of gone back to being a little warm. Not boiling hot like the other week, but kind of warm. So I've not been at my best today. But yeah, hope you all